Hey everyone, welcome back to 30 Players in 30 Days, and I am legitimately pumped to talk about this guy because it's always fun to talk about someone who people genuinely don't believe in versus a guy that everyone loves. Who's the guy? Daniel Jones. Last year was bad, really bad, like tripping over literally nothing bad. Sorry, I had to. We love to make a lot of Daniel Jones jokes because quite frankly, it's easy. But let's pause for a second and give the guy a break. Last year was rough. Poor offensive line, limited weapons, no safety net, no Saquon. The season was a mess as a whole, and it was not isolated to just Jones. You try being a quarterback without an actual wide receiver one and out there legitimately running for your life. But let's look at Daniel Jones in his rookie year in better days. Not bad for a rookie. 12 games started, 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. But if you do the math, if he had played a full season, he would have been around 4,000 yards, maybe around 30 touchdowns. He looked very promising. Now, he did fumble a lot. And if we're being fair, though, he actually did cut back on fumbles last year. So, hey, he's working on it. Give him a little bit of a break. And he's mobile. He has some rushing upside, so you'll get a few extra points a game based off of that. The only problem is that it hasn't translated into rushing touchdowns, and his rushing stats are actually about the same as Josh Allen. He just doesn't get those same touchdowns. But then came 2020, and we don't need to go into the stats. We know what happened. But it's very possible that year was an anomaly, and there's no reason that he can't recover. The Giants went out and snagged Kenny Golladay, a huge win for Daniel Jones. Golladay is that wide receiver one that Daniel Jones desperately needs. And a lot of people make the argument that Golladay is used to having someone like Stafford throw to him, and it's not actually the case. In 2019, Galladay's best year, he caught half of his passes from Jeff Driscoll and David Blau. So Golladay can catch a ball from literally anybody. And Golladay allows Slayton and Shepard to play their role, which is not being a number one. And they also went out and they got John Ross and they drafted Kadarius Toney. So suddenly their wide receiver room went from to okay. All of these investments lead you to believe that the Giants are confident that Daniel Jones can sling it to speedy weapons. With all of these investments into their receiving core, plus the return of Saquon, the Giants' offense could be stealthy good. And while they didn't revamp the offensive line, which arguably could have accounted for a lot of the trouble that Jones had, they did get a new offensive line coach, and they opted to keep the line as is and just kind of maintain consistency and adjust at the top rather than shuffle players. So if the situation does turn around, we're talking a good long-term advantage for you. So take a chance on Daniel Jones. Bank on his ability to take advantage of a newly potent offense and return to his original form, minus the fumbles.